2020 was a trying time in the maritime industry. A lot of issues came up during the time in question. You can remember the issue of COVID-19 that started as early as March, and by August, the worst of the impact came through this NSAS issue. Although, somehow we give God the praise and thank the employers of labor who has also done very well in ensuring that there is high productivity irrespective of the situation we find ourselves. And I can say it's a good one because not very many companies laid off workers. So we thank God that in spite of all these situations we have, that we still keep afloat. We expect higher productivity. We hope to see employers of labor also do more to make sure that the labor market that is already saturated is somehow defrayed by ensuring that a lot of graduates that are roaming the street there, which is giving boost to all this insecurity, that they should be granted employment, and we hope to see a more peaceful environment where business can thrive, so that both the nation at large, everybody will be okay. If we talk about the maritime sector, there are a lot of places. Look, I have this problem when I see that we have other ports in Nigeria and these places are not thriving. So we want to see a decentralized formation. We have vessels who will also call to Port Harcourt, Onne, Warri, Calabar. That is my earnest expectation, and I want government to do urgent things that will make these ports to be another point like Lagos. That of Lagos is totally choked. We thank God for vessels that are calling, but you can agree with me, it is choked. So I hope the government will try as much as possible. If it is dredging, if it is whatever, let them do it. So that some of these traders, some of these cargoes, some of these containers you see in Lagos, they will drop here and move to Aba, move to Onitsha. If Port Harcourt is booming, if it's Onne is booming, if it's Calabar that is booming, if it's Warri is even closer to Asaba. So we want a situation where government will come into this. We can tell you it is well deserved. Comrade Adizabala Usman. Many of us did not know that she's a comrade. And that is the simple truth. But she's a comrade by nature. And if you know her antecedents in the Bring Back Her Girls issue, so of course you know it's an activist, and so she's a comrade. And so being a comrade is like asking me how I feel. You can now understand where I'm coming from. Because she's also coming from our side. Though she's serving government, that does not mean she's working with us. But serving government, but she's performing very, very excellent. And if you look at the Nigerian Ports Authority, she's brought in a lot of innovations, and she's brought in a lot of corrections, and things are really moving well. So we want to also use this opportunity on behalf of the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria MPA branch and the entire union workers of Nigerian Ports Authority, congratulate her on her deserving reappointment. She's welcome back on board. Let me tell you, when she came in first, I remember the first meeting I had with her. I asked her straight. I said, Madam, there's this insinuation that you are coming to sack workers. Are you coming to sack workers? She says, no. So for not sacking workers, that is one of the greatest achievements. And again, before her coming on board, there are a lot of anomalies in administration. Though administration is about, government is about control, but there were a lot of anomalies, and which she has also corrected very seriously. Issue of salary, there are a lot of anomalies, and now people can now know, yes, I entered before this man, I'm doing well by promotion and the rest. Before you see where junior one is earning more than the senior one, which is to say the least not acceptable. But when she came in, she corrected all these things, and there is this reduced tension in the workplace. So I think these are some of the things I can easily tell you. And higher productivity. Since she came in, the returning of surplus operating budget has been on the increase. Sometimes 30 billion, sometimes just like that. So if she can be doing all this, it means that under her watch, there is accountability, which is paramount. And also, there is high productivity from the workers. The severance package, when you talk about severance package falls in two ways. It's either when somebody is going or whatever. But like I said, MPA had a lay-down, we have a lay-down procedure. And I don't think that under this circumstance that anybody has losses or a job where the severance package will come in. Okay? But that of retirement, everything is done well through the gratuity and the rest of them. But we have sister companies like Landfall, DPASA, CSL. By the time we came on board, things were not properly in order. But we cannot come and make excuses. When we were elected to confront challenges. And so when we met those challenges of severance package in the sister companies like DPASA, LTT, and CSL, in fact, that of CSL, we're on it. We've written a lot of letters to management, concerning their severance package, because the company is about to close down. So they said. We have not seen, because they have not notified us expressly through writing. But we have been with them on negotiations. But as it stands now, we have told MPA they have 60% or so shares, and the other company, the sister company, has 40. So before anything is done, the union must be carried along, so that we will look at the life of our members. You cannot give all your life in a particular place and you are going, somebody is just treating you as if you are not a Nigerian. It was not acceptable. First, let me correct this thing. I wouldn't know if it is March 17, because we have not put a date, but I know it is in March. Okay?
I know it's around March 17.
It's okay. But the position of MPA branch is very simple. You can even see I'm putting it on already. Atiba for Beijing. This is a man that has done a lot to the system. The position of MPA branch is that Atiba, Prince Comrade Adewale Adeyanju, should go back and complete the good work he has started. Look, when somebody do a thing and perform credibly very well, you give the person a pat at the back as a means of saying, well done. Our mandate is very simple. Atiba for second term. No, the mandate is on the workers. If the workers say they are not comfortable with your activities, they have the right to say, we want to bring in another person. Look, when we came in on board, we were barely 2 months in office when we were confronted by a monster called Port and Harbour Bill. We've been singing this song everywhere we go. The President General of Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria said, over is dead body, will he take a port where workers will lose their job a second time? Look, the federal government has the right to name the port as they wish. We have moved from Nigerian Ports PLC to Nigerian Ports today, Nigerian Ports Authority. We used to have Eastern Zone, Western Zone, this zone. So it's not the paraphernalia is not the issue. The issue is the content of the bill was such that Nigerian workers will be enslaved. And that is where, when we saw the content, we say no. We can allow the federal government to do what they want to do if only the job security of our members is guaranteed. This man single-handedly sponsored this president and some other members of the union to move to Switzerland to meet with Nigerian Labour Congress president. And we sat down, discussed this issue very well. And he wrote a lot of letters up to presidency, the vice president, the senate president, the president of the House of Reps, so many places. And we even had to have several meetings with some members of the National House in a way to present our position and why we think this thing cannot work. Adeyanju ensured that these things was not done to shortchange any Nigerian worker. That is on the part of Nigerian Ports Authority. So that we are even in service today, after God, is Prince Comrade Adewale Adeyanju. Why won't we support him? Look at it again. Some time ago, Salaries and Wages Commission wrote and said that some people do not deserve bonus productivity. And he called me and said, President, if NPA is making profit today, are you telling me the workers are not working? Workers cannot work, and you say organization is making profit, and you say the workers do not deserve it. He said, no, every worker must be paid. And we went on, we told the management, though thank God for our management, who are also proactive. They went into the matter and they saw that, look, this is not understandable. Adewale Adeyanju has came into the union, increased the salaries of the workers of the union. He picked up from where he met it ground. He came up, he saw that the workers cannot. So my into borrowing from one bank or Shylocks and the rest of them. He said, no, let us set up cooperative. This society, the Greek society, he has even organized a seminar for them, and this seminar is coming up today. So you can even have the privilege, after this is our schedule, you can even have the privilege of when they are there. You see it yourself. That is the man we are talking about. The CBAs of companies. So many companies don't pay our workers well. These days he has gone into it and they are paying very well. Adeyanju said it is 2 kobo per naira. That is what companies we have members give us. And he said no, we cannot have 2 kobo per naira any longer. That what we are going to do is let us diversify and go into businesses. If you even look at this place, you can even see our trucks for haulage. This man has programmed it that the union will go into diversification, so that we will not only be waiting for companies where we have our affiliate members according to the labor law, the union due of 2 kobo per naira. No, he said no, let us diversify, go into businesses, so that if we don't have members any longer, the union will be strong and we are into college. Adeyanju has done, look, there are so much that if one begin to count, it will look as if one is singing his praises just because we want him to come. No, but we are talking of things that are visible, things we can see, things we can identify. Now, let me give you this. Adeyanju came in, he made existing peace in the industry. What can be more than peace? In an industry where there is no peace, can business thrive? At least you can understand that barely 2, strike issues we have so far embarked on. Number 1, the issue of IOCs not remitting their money to federal government. Then number 2, the issue of the road. The issue of the road. Then the other protest we made was a protest under the period of Port Harcourt bill. So a man that has worked 4 years, and in each, he always say, closing the port is not the option. The option is dialogue. Let us discuss. If it is Shippers Council, let's talk with them. If it's NIMASA, if it's Nigerian Ports Authority, any sector, the shipping industry, the NIWA, we keep dialoguing. If for peace alone, sir, we're asking him to continue.